What is going on, guys? So today, in light of recent events, I'm going to talk about whether or not you should still consider joining the Army, specifically in 2020. Alright, so in this video, I'm more or less just going to kind of share my thoughts and experiences of, when things happen in the world on what you should do. Should you kind of consider still joining the military in 2020? Should, all of the Iran stuff in the news kind of deter you a little bit? I'm just going to give you guys my personal experience and some things that I regret and stuff like that. So if you've watched a lot of my older videos, I've made videos talking about why I didn't join, initially when I was 18 years old, because I did consider joining at the time, but there were some things going on in the world that I didn't necessarily agree with, and that was probably the biggest contributing factor of why I didn't join at the time. I had started, talking to a recruiter, got the process going with everything, and at the last second, because the leadership and stuff like that, I decided not to actually go through and actually swear in. And if you've watched those videos, you will know that that is my biggest regret of just the military in general. I wish I would have joined then. I wish I didn't let all these outside factors that really doesn't make a difference so much in my life, because there's no straight up wars going on with anything. I mean, with Iran, in my personal opinion, I don't think we're gonna go to war, so that's kind of why I'm also saying this, right? So if it was, if we're literally in war right now with Iran, then that might be a little bit different story, but don't think, in my opinion, that this is going to turn into an actual full-blown war. So with that being said, if you were thinking about joining the military, the Army specifically, last week, and then all this stuff happened in the news, and now you're maybe considering, I don't know if I should do it, I do think that you should still consider joining the military in 2020, because honestly, not all that much has changed. Really, my personal opinion, I think that the only reason that the news and media and stuff are focusing so much on this right now is because they're kind of on the break from the whole impeachment stuff. So you kind of have to, if you're not paying attention to what's going on with the news constantly, when, for example, impeachment is just covering the news like crazy, and now that they're not talking about it because the Congress and stuff was just on a break, they're like, okay, we got to talk about something. We got to fill the airtime. And so this airstrike happens. Yes, it's kind of like a big deal, but they're really blowing it up with the amount of coverage that they're covering for this, because there's nothing else to cover. I mean, pretty much every single year there is some kind of event, airstrike, killing some terrorist leader or something, where everybody's just like, oh my gosh, we're gonna go to war. We're gonna go to war with Russians. We're gonna go to war with North Korea. We're gonna go to war with Iran. And that's just always happening, because yes, there's always the potential to go to war. Always. At any given point in time, there's always a potential that some crazy leader in some other country is going to, kill a bunch of Americans, and then all of a sudden we are in a war with that country, and then maybe some other countries support them, and then it's just a whole big deal. That could happen, honestly, at any point in time. So with all this recent stuff that's happened in the news, with looking forward to 2020, like I said, in my personal opinion, if you were thinking about joining last week, and then the news changed, and now you're considering not joining, I don't think that should be the case. Don't let that deter you too much, because you're trying to make the best decision for your life. And if you really do think that the Army or the military in general is something that you want to do, that you want to make a career of, that you want to maybe just join for 4 years, maybe get your GI Bill, maybe just get the leadership experience where you can carry that on to your civilian career. There's a lot of reasons that you could want to join the military, and I don't think that recent events or anything that could potentially happen in 2020 should deter you from that. So I'm not going to throw my opinion out there on whether or not this was the right thing to do, the wrong thing to do, whatever. I'm not going to talk about that. The only thing that I'm, again, going to reiterate, if you were considering joining last week, this week should still be the same thing. You should always just be focused on the super duper long term, like your whole life. Like, are you going to use the military to prop you up and set yourself up for success in the future by using the military to do that? Or are you going to let a little hiccup in the news and in the world environment, stage, things going on, politics going on right now, are you going to let that trip you up from your overall life goals? So that is gonna be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button. That'd be awesome. If you're checking out some more of my videos, hit the subscribe button. That would be even better. If you're not following me on Instagram and Snapchat, go ahead and do that. I hope you guys have an amazing freaking day, and I'll see y'all later.